Hi everybody, it's all Sunforge here for Dungeons and Taverns. Today's video is going into the players workshop. We're going to create a character. I was invited to a Curse of Strahd campaign by one of my players who's DMing. Foxodon Evolve, the fighter in my current sessions, is DMing a Curse of Strahd, and it happens that I am free the day that they play. It's a campaign that's already in session, so they're level 4. So I'll be creating a level 4 character for you today. My example that I was going to make was a wizard, but I'm not going to be a wizard for the campaign, so I'm just switching the example. However, we will have examples eventually for every single character type, or not type, like class. And so we'll go step by step on creating a character, and we don't need all these books. We don't need all these. I had to face the wrong way. We don't need all these books. Okay, we're not the DM today, so we can put that down. And to show you that you don't need all of this stuff, we're just gonna make a character with the basic player's handbook. These books have extra options and feats and different actual classes even than the basic handbook, but they cost extra money. So we're trying to get you in with the cheapest barrier to entry as we can. And if you don't have one of these, you can borrow one from your DM. He'll have one. He or she, and they you can get them on Amazon for I think $25 or something like that. Or if you want to support your local game shop, which is always a good idea, the normal asking price is $50. All right, so let's transfer to the main screen here. All right, we have the character sheet. I've already picked a name for my character, Kairos, and I might even change that just a bit. I don't know. It sounds pretty decent though, and I decided that I wanted to be a tiefling. And the GM, he told me that there's gonna be an Ancient's Paladin, a Twilight Cleric, a Phantom Rogue, a Wild Magic Barbarian Hexblade, a Horizon Walker Ranger, a Fighter Rogue. So I want to make something that will complement those. And let me go to my webcam here and see if I can take off that background because I'm going to be rolling the stats. You re-roll ones, and you roll 2 sets of stats, and so there's 6 stats, so that's 12 rolls, minus the re-rolling for the ones. And then he wants you to pick the column of stats that are the best, obviously, the ones that you like the best. So before we pick our class and everything like that, I kind of have one in mind that I want to be, but I'm not exactly sure just yet. Let's get out our dice, and I got quite a few dice. I just keep them in this Crown Royal bag here, this green apple crown bag. All right, so we're gonna roll out here, and I'm gonna have my dice cameras back, so I have the face cam and the dice cam. All right, so we have to roll these far enough out so that they can be seen by the camera. All right, so we got a 5, 5, 5, and the one over here is a 3. There, 3. All right, so we're gonna have to try to figure out just to roll them. Oh my gosh. Yeah, good deal. This is trying to do this as ghetto as I can, because that's what kind of channel we run here. Stop trying to. The camera itself is so heavy that it's trying to just pull everything off my freaking desk. All right. So anyway, the lowest number there is the 3. So we drop the 3 in this format. Okay. So we got a 15. All right. So let's do that 5 more times. There has to be a better system than this. Eventually, I'm just doing this in my living room. You know, I want my own area, obviously, but it's just not feasible. I'll just pull them out. There we go. There's a 5, 4, a 3, and a 1. So let's re-roll the 1, and it became a 2. So it's still the lowest number. So we have the 5, 4, and 3. That adds up to 12. Alright, so we have a 5, a 4, a 2, and we have a 1. So we're re-rolling the 1. It became a 3. So that gets rid of the 2. So then we have 12. 5 plus 4 plus 3 is 12. Nope. No, Callie. Trying to give me a little bit of a hint there, huh? That's like my players in puzzles. The hint was so obvious. Alright. So our 4th stat. We have a 6. We have a 4. A 3. And then the 1. We re-roll the 1. And it is another 1. So we re-roll it. It became a 2. So no good. So 13. 6 plus 4 plus 3. Alright. So that's our 4th stat. Alright. So we got a 5. A 3. A 1. And another 1. So we're going to re-roll those. And we got a 6. And a 2. So we take the 2 out. 6 plus 5 is 11. Plus 3 is 14. So 14 is our next stat. Alright, so we got 3, 4, 5. We got one more for the first column. Okay, we got a 6, a 5, a 5, and a 1. Let's re-roll the 1. And it turned it into a 6. Hell yeah. Alright, so 6 plus 6 is 12. Plus 5 is 17. Get rid of the other 5, so it's the lowest. So 17. Alright. And now, let's go ahead with the second column. We'll choose after, obviously. Alright, so we got a 6, a 4, a 4, and a 1. We're going to re-roll that 1. And it's a 5. So we got the 6 plus 5 plus 4. We threw out the 4, and we got 15. Alright, so we're starting the next column with a 15. Just like the first column. And in old school D&D, when you rolled a stat, you used it going down the list. You know, strength, dex, con, int, and whatever number you rolled like first would be strength. Your second number would be dex, and that's how you chose which character you were. And you know, now it's, you put them where you want them, which is fine. I like playing either way. I just like playing. I'm glad to finally get a chance to play. Alright, so we got a 4, a 4, a 3, and a 1. So we're rerolling the 1, and it's a 5. So we're taking the 3 out. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 4 is 13. So, not terrible. Alright, so we got a 6, a 2, a 1, and a 1. So we're re-rolling both those ones. And we got a 3 and a 2. So we're throwing out the 2 because 6, 3, and 2 is the highest. So an 11. And this is kind of what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do your rolls in front of the DM. But I'm recording, and most people they try to get away with you know, like, oh yeah, I rolled 3 18s. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. They're lying, almost guaranteed. Okay, so we got a 4, a 2, a 2, and a 1. So we're gonna re-roll the 1. We got a 5. So take out one of those 2s. Thank God. And so now we're left with an 11. I don't know. Column 1 looks like it's the best choice right now. Alright, so we have a 6, a 2, a 1, and a 1. So we re-roll the 1s. And we got a 6 and a 2. So the 2 is the lowest. So 6 and 6 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Alright. One more roll. Okay, we got a 5. Oh. That one was a 5. I flipped it. And it became a 3. The green dice is a little bit hard to see, so you don't have to trust me that it was a 5. I'll re-roll it. That's fine. So we got the 5. We got a 4, the 1, and that we re-roll. And since this 5 flipped to a 3, and I think it happened off camera, I'm just going to re-roll it, even though 5 is, you know, well, obviously you can only get a 5 again or a 6, so chances of me beating it are pretty low. Let's see what we get here, though. Yeah, a 2 and a 2. So, in order, and trying to be transparent as possible, I ended up screwing myself, but that's okay. That's a daily life occurrence for me. It works out. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 2 is an 11. I'm sorry, and I just realized that somehow when I switched scenes it threw that kind of off the screen a bit. But there you go. There's the numbers we have. Alright, we're back. In the middle of the cuts, in the middle of the edits, when I went back there to talk to my girlfriend and came back out here, I was actually thinking of a last name. And I picked Sevestra for my character's last name. So Kairos Sevestra. And, you know, as the DM said, level 4. So, you know, shorthand, L4. We haven't picked the type of druid yet, so we'll just type in druid for right now. And, race. Tiefling. and I'm pretty sure this probably isn't the most powerful combo. That's not really stuff that I focus on too much. I'll probably do videos like that in the future on ideal stuff that, in my opinion, maybe doing out the actual math work and things like that, and showing without a shadow of a doubt which one is better for which specific type. But I'm not gonna do that right now. We'll see if there's an interest. Okay, so tieflings get an intelligence bonus of 1. Let's see if we can pull this up here. Okay. Here we are, right here. Oh. We don't want that. There we go. Nope. Darn it. I was hoping I could highlight it. I can, but I don't know. Is there a... Yeah, there's an undo. I think. So, let's see here. Yeah. So their ability score increase right there. So their intelligence goes up by 1 and their charisma by 2. So let's write that down on our paper. Because we haven't picked our stats yet. We haven't assigned them yet, So let me make sure it's right. +1 to whatever the intelligence is going to be. And +2 to charisma. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, for their alignment. And D&D kind of alignment has kind of went by the wayside a bit. It's still important to me, though. And just basically, real quick, because you could talk about that. I could talk about that in an hour video by itself, easy. You have good, you have evil, you have neutral, you have chaotic, and lawful, and they all intersect with each other. And each character archetype for their alignment is kind of dictates sort of your personality. But D&D primarily has got away from that, I believe, because your personality, just like you in real life, you watching this, your personality changes, your morality changes. Pretty much everything about you, in some way, changes from decision to decision, and so it's a little bit more fluid now. But generally speaking, for clerics and paladins, it's still rather important. There's spells and there's weapons that require to be certain alignments, and the type of deity that you worship. And so I feel alignment is still very, very important. A lot of DMs won't agree with me, but you don't watch my channel for their advice. You watch it for mine, and I'm telling you that alignments still matter. For their size category is medium. All right, so walking speed of 30. So let's go fill that in here. The speed's 30, and we might get we could get things to improve that. There's magic items, there's feats, and you can increase it those ways. And in my campaign, I'm going to do something cool with the speed. For my next campaign, not this one that we're in now. Okay, so what else do we have here? Let's go back to the handbook. They have dark vision. Everybody has dark vision. I'm also going to be doing a change with that. You have resistance to fire damage. That's important. Hellish resistance. Fire resistance. And I'm just writing these down on paper so this way, after I make my choices, then I can fill it in. Oh. Infernal Legacy. You know the Thaumaturgy cantrip? Thaumaturgy. And once you reach 3rd level, you can cast the Hellish Rebuke spell once per day. Okay, Hellish Rebuke. Free. Once per day. At level 3. You cast it as a 2nd level spell. Once you reach 5th level, you can cast Darkness. Alright, and so we'll worry about that portion once we get there. We don't need to worry about it right now. You can speak, read, write, common, and infernal. Okay, so common, infernal. And what I do is I let my players know an additional language per intelligent point bonus that they have. So they get their base languages, common, undercommon, celestial, and so they get their base languages and their ancestral language, and if they have a +2 int bonus, then they get 2 additional languages. Although I believe I'm going to make it so that if you want to be able to read a language, then it costs an int point. If you want to be able to write a language, it would be another one. I don't know if that might be too much. I might just do read and write per one language for every 2 points. We'll do that maybe. But enough of that, because that has nothing to do with this right now. So, yeah. Alright then. Okay, so I think, is that everything that we need from Tieflings? Let's see, was there anything else? That's kind of cool, huh? Classes. Oh, let's go get to the Druid. Some sweet-ass classes, baby. That was lame. Cleric. Big, strong man. There we go. There's Druid. Holding high a gnarled staff wreathed with holly, an elf summons the fury of the storm and calls down explosive bolts of lightning to smite the torch-carrying orcs who threaten her force. Crouching out of sight on a high tree branch in the form of a leopard, humans... Okay, well this is all... This is not needed. It gives you... You know what a druid is. Well, in nature. Animal aspects. Communicate with nature. Alright, so we are level 4. So we can see that we get a +2 proficiency bonus. And the proficiency bonus basically, when you're skilled with something, in past editions it was skilled or unskilled. And hey, Callie, hush. And so your proficiency bonus is just the number you get to add. It's a static... Callie, hush! It's just a static number that you can add to your roll. So, say you're proficient in survival. But you roll a 8 on the dice, but you have a +4 proficiency bonus. Well, that 8 becomes a 12. It's that simple. And your class, your backgrounds and things will determine your proficiency bonuses. And then your feats and things also can add to those as well. So, alright. Anyway, we're at level 4, so we got a +2 proficiency bonus. Callie, hush it. Okay, so we have wild shape improvement. Callie, hush. Wild shape improvement. Ability score improvement. And your ability score is what we rolled in the beginning. Those numbers. The 6 of them that you have to assign. The ability score improvement at level 4, 8, 12, 16, and 19, I believe. Those, you can increase one stat by 2, 2 stats by 1, and some DMs alternatively allow you to pick up a feat instead of the ability scores if you wish to bypass getting static bumps like that. Feats do make your character more interesting and more complex in some ways. But they are a lot of fun. The feats in 3.5, in my opinion, were a lot better. Like Cleave, which allowed you to, if you slain an enemy, go on to another enemy. Not using an additional attack. You're still on the same attack. So let's say there's 3 enemies. You have 2 attacks. Your first attack hits. Your second attack kills the enemy, and then you get a cleave for strike on a different enemy, and it still would be counted as your second attack. And then there's Great Cleave, which allows you to do that formula, but as long as you keep killing enemies. So if you have 5 attacks and you kill your enemy on the first attack, each time you're still on your first attack, no matter how many enemies you clear out. Those are, in my opinion, feats. Those are feats. But 5th edition still has some pretty good ones too, and a lot of role playing stuff also, which is great because I love role playing. Combat's fine. I have a very good strategical mind. But role-playing, to me, is the meat and potatoes of the game. That's what we come to the table for. Okay, so what else do we get at 4th level? We gotta look up the Druid Circle. We gotta look at what Wild Shape is. Druid Circle. Wild Shape. Wild Shape is probably just where it can turn into an animal. Druidic and spellcasting. Alright. Right. Okay. Oh yeah, the spells. We know 3 cantrips. Cantrips. We know 3. 4 first level. And then 3 second level. Yeah, okay. We could work with that. Alright, so hit points. Oh, there we go. 1d8 per druid level. Your first level, you get 8 plus your con. So, it's 8 plus con for the first level. And then each level after that is a d8. 1d8 plus con. Or you could take a 5. But if you don't take a 5 and you roll lower than a 5, then obviously you take your roll. So it's like a risk-reward type situation. And just because I'm playing this for fun and for your information. I am going to risk it. We're going to risk it all. And we are going to roll every single time. And we're going to live with the results. And we're going to play within our means. You know, if our hit points are low, we're going to play more defensively, like our hit points are low. You know? Okay, so let's go ahead and put the camera back down if we can. Alright, there we go. I'll put it on a organic smoked paprika bottle. It worked out perfectly. Okay, so we start out with the 8 points plus con. Okay, we'll just remember that. So that means we roll 3 times for the remaining levels 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so a 5. Okay, 5. An 8. Two. There we go. I just want to roll it again just for fun. So I like to roll. An 8. That's okay. So 5, 8, 2. I always get burned playing devil's advocate. Alright. So now that we know our hit points, what they're going to be, the 8 plus con, 5 plus con, 8 plus con, 2 plus con, we could do that right now. We could just fill that in right now. Okay. So, well, actually, we haven't picked a con yet. We didn't pick a con yet. Oh, I see. It's I wasn't following along in the book. I was actually just concentrating on your guys' portions. That's funny. Oh yeah, we didn't write the proficiencies with the armor too. All right. So let's go ahead and lay down our stats then. So we could just go ahead and get this done. Our druid is going to be rather wise. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. There. There we go. So, pretty wise. Maybe not the wisest in the room, always, but a good deal of the time. Alright, so let's cross out to 15. For looks, yeah, above average. You know, don't look like a peasant by any means. You wouldn't think I was some kind of pure blood royal though. So, you know, And her charisma might be more of a force of presence type thing. Anyway, and not necessarily even looks. Okay, so now let's go with let's see, we got the 15 for dexterity. Let's go with let's go with 14 for dex. So let's cross out the 14. You know, you're pretty nimble. You know, you're definitely more skilled, more graceful than a common street thug. You know, but you aren't so good that you have books written about you. I hope you guys like these explanations once you actually get to hear them. I think I do a pretty decent job. It's like one of my favorite parts. And plus, I want you guys to have like the best understanding that you possibly can. Constitution. She's gonna be she's gonna be hardy. Do I want the 17 in con or strength? Let me check Discord real quick, make sure my DM hasn't said nothing back to me. No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, so 17 con or 17 strength. Con. 17 con. 17 strength probably would benefit me more, but we're not worried about that. We're making the character we want to make, you know. I don't usually put the stats where they're supposed to go, the best where they're supposed to go, and all that stuff. And I find that having a flawed character is more fun. And hopefully you see that too, and you want to give that a try. Okay, so 13 strength, 12 intelligence. Is that what I have left? 13 strength, 12 intelligence. Alright, now we apply our modifiers. +1 int, +2 charisma. Okay, so then our intelligence becomes a 13. And our charisma goes from a 12 to 14 because it's +2. Alright, so then you figure out the the modifiers. 14, 15 is 2. 16, 17 is a 3. What the heck is all that stuff in there? Oh, that was weird. Alright. And then the proficiency was +2, so we fill that in there. Now, I don't know, since I'm level 4, I don't know what kind of armor he's going to give me or anything like that. But your kit is going to have a basic armor for you to choose under the starting equipment for a level 1 character when you look under your character's respective page. And then there's an area where it tells you how much armor that gives you, or if you get penalties to stealth because the armor is too heavy, things like that. But those make sense to you, right? You think, you're in heavier armor, you're going to click, clack more. Alright, so now let's get to did I write to health? No, I didn't write to health down. Alright, so 8 plus 5 is 13, plus 8 is 21, plus the 2, it's 23 health. Eesh. Oh, no temporary hit points, my bad. Hit dice is a D8. Total of them, I have 4 out of 4. And the reason you keep track of the total is because you can spend your hit dice to heal during short rest periods. Because your characters get 2 short rests in a day, in a game day, not in a real life day, obviously. 2 short rests in a game day, and then the long rest to finish it off. You can use your hit dice to heal that many dice. You roll them to see how much health you gain during your short rests. For languages, Common, Infernal, Proficient in light armor, medium armor, shields. Be a shield maiden. So for weapons, it's clubs, daggers, darts, javelins, mace, quarterstaffs. And you don't even have to write all these down. If there's weapons in here that you know that you're not going to use, you don't need to write it. I'm just doing it for the example. And I, after you play for a while, you know most all these. Like the druid with the quarterstaff and bow and the darts and javelin. You know that. Sickles, sling, spear. Herbalism kit. Okay, it makes perfect sense to me. Herbalism kit. Alright, so proficient in saving throws of intelligence and wisdom. So you go up here to your saving throw column, and you put a little dot under intelligence, a little dot under wisdom. And those are the ones you add your proficiency bonus to when the DM calls for those saves. Some creatures have abilities that require you to roll those types of saves, or take a certain type of damage, like a Mind Flayer, with intellect devour, with your intelligence or your intellect saves. You know, it was basically if you roll high enough, you resist whatever the effect is. You might still take half of the effect, or in some cases, none of the effect. It just depends on what the effect is. And in some cases, how much you fail the save by. Oh, hold on a second. That'll help a little bit, huh? Okay. So we got those picked out. We haven't picked any spells yet, and just for the sake of this, because I might not pick spells. There's no, I'll just save it for in game or whatever. Skills. Choose from two. Choose two from Arcana, Animal Handling, Insight, Medicine, Nature, Perception, Religion, and Survival. Arcana has to deal with magical devices. If you can sense any type of magical presence from something. Animal Handling is how well you can deal with nature. Either animals in the wilderness, or mounts. How if they're not fully trained, you got to use your animal handling to try to train them. Insight. Whether you feel somebody is lying or maybe concealing part of the truth, this is contested by their deception skill, and it isn't a Jedi mind trick. So don't ask. The DM shouldn't be just telling you like, yes, this is how it is, or no, because it's how your character feels about the situation. Ideally, obviously the player sees their role, so they know how to act, like how they did, generally. But that's why the DM changes the DCs of these checks and things like that, and they should explain it in a way where it might not be immediate to you whether you did good or not. And then later on, because if they roll bad, they're like, I want to sneak out into the open, try to sneak past the lights to the bushes to try to infiltrate this palace. And they roll one, they be like, oh, I don't think I do that. Like none of that stuff. Okay, so we're choosing. Oh yeah, that's right. We did the insight. Medicine check. Determine injuries, healing kits, and being able to help restore health, or prevent poisons or stop them or disease. Nature, that helps you with identifying beneficial or harmful plants, mosses and mushrooms, and anything to do with being in a forest, knowing about your environment. It's a nature check. Perception. That's anything you can see. You roll your perception check to see if you can see things that maybe other people wouldn't have noticed or cared to have noticed, because it was either too small, too far away, too insignificant to them, but you picked it up because you have a high perception. All right. And then religion. This game has deities in it. Some DMs might not use them. Some players might not use them. I still place importance on them. Maybe not as much as they're not necessary. They're not a critical part of D&D. They can be, though. Just like the alignment system, really. It's just in the same type of boat. And then finally we have survival. Survival. How well can you survive in the wilderness? Low on food, low on potable water. Finding a nice appropriate place that is kind of safe as it can be, for you to rest for the night. You know, following you're in the wilderness for a while. Make sure you don't lose your way and end up going in circles. You know, those all depend on your wilderness checks. Or your survival checks. Your wilderness checks. It's the same thing, really. I guess it's intentional, unintentional Freudian slip. Survival is wilderness. And anytime you're in a situation where, you know, your skills are required, your Boy Scout type skills, that's a survival. Skin a buck, go fishing. There you go. Boom. Okay, so we picked 2 of those. We will take... See, how am I portraying my druid? Are they going to be a fierce, vengeful, harness nature to enact their vengeance and devastation? Or am I going to be the kinder, softer druid who heals and has butterflies land on their fingertips and does the whole Disney princess singing stuff? We'll go with medicine. So we heal. And we're also going to go with nature would be the obvious one. Insight, religion, survival. Yeah, we'll go with nature. That's fine. We'll go with nature. Okay. And then it talks about the different cantrips. I'm not going to cover that here. This has already taken a while. Alright, so wild shape. Starting at 2nd level, you can use your action to magically assume the shape of a beast that you have seen before. You can use this feature twice. You regain expended uses when you finish a short or long rest. Your druid level determines the beast you can transform into, as shown in the beast shapes table. At 2nd level, for example, you can transform into any beast that has a challenge rating of 1/4 or lower that doesn't have a flying or swimming speed. This category is huge. Okay, but that's wild shape. So we were right about that. That's all. Druid Circle. At 2nd level, you choose to identify with a circle of druids. The circle of land, circle of moon, both detailed at the end of the class description. Alright, so let's look at the circles. Druids of the Circle of the Moon are fierce guardians of the wilds. Their order gathers under the full moon to share news and trade warnings. They haunt the deepest part of the wilderness, where they might go for weeks on end before crossing paths with another humanoid creature, let alone another druid. Changeable as the moon, a druid of this circle might prowl as a great cat one night, soar over the treetops as an eagle the next day, and crash through the undergrowth in bear form to drive off a trespassing monster. The wild is in the druid's blood. I already have ideas how I'd play that. That's Circle of the Moon. What about Circle of the Land? Circle of the Land is made up of mystics and sages who safeguard ancient knowledge and rites through vast oral tradition. No, we're Circle of the Moon all the way. We're Circle of the Moon all the way. Backgrounds. Come on. Alright. Alkalite. You spent your life in the service of a temple to a specific god? Nope. And we'll cover these more in detail later on, for sure. but we're trying to go through it just to make the character. And, these are all going to be future videos because the video would just end up being 7 hours long if I did everything I do, and then I divert sometimes. And charlatan, you always had a way with people. You know what makes them tick. You can tease out their heart's desires in a few minutes of conversation. Deception and sleight of hand. No. My character is going to they've been in the woods most of their life, and so they're going to have the mannerisms of somebody who doesn't have the grace or elegance of somebody who's used to speaking with people, and so they're going to be a little bit open and blunt, and as time progresses, they'll slowly get out of that as they travel with the party. And we'll see if anybody notices or not. But that's how I'm playing it. Criminal. You're an experienced criminal with a history of breaking the law. Spent time amongst other criminals, so contacts within the criminal underworld. No. Entertainer. No. Find a place to hide, rest, or recuperate commoners unless you show yourself to be a danger. Folk hero. You come from a humble social rank, but destined for so much more. Already the people of your home village regard you as their champion. Your destiny calls you to stand against the tyrants and monsters that threaten the common folk everywhere. That doesn't really sound like a tiefling. I can make it work. But I think we'll keep looking. We'll write here. I'll write folk hero, maybe. And hopefully my explanations have been pretty good. I've been trying to keep them a little bit short, but I wanted to explain enough to you that you could actually go ahead and do this yourself with what I've given you so far, and amongst some of the things I left out that you can easily find online. No, not a guild member. A hermit? Yes. Okay. You lived in seclusion, either in a sheltered community such as a monastery or entirely alone for a formative part of your life. Okay, yeah. Okay, I looked it up. And if a background gives you a skill that you are already proficient in, you can choose a new skill. But that's only for those. That's not for anything you gain after the background. It's just at that beginning portion. So, since we are already in medicine, that means we are going to take. We have to take religion. All right, and then for our next one, perception, I suppose. Yeah, this should be fine. Alright, so we'll talk about the personality traits, the ideals, the bonds, and the flaws when we'll do that when we cover in detail more of these types of things here, because they're all related, and you don't necessarily even have to have them, but they're tools for you to flesh out your character more, to make you more individual, and it gives the DM things to work off of your story to incorporate what you want into their campaign. All right, so let me put this stuff down. Put this stuff down here. Oh, and since we're level 4, I forgot to do the ability score increase or the feat. I think we'll do the feat. I think, unless the DM lets me know later on that he's not allowing that optional rule, because it is optional now. Just because some DMs allow it doesn't mean that everybody's going to allow it. Oh, keen mind. You have a mind that can track time, direction, and detail with uncanny precision. You gain the following benefits. Increase your intelligence score by 1 to a maximum of 20. You always know which way is north. You always know the number of hours left before the next sunrise or sunset. You can accurately recall anything you have seen or heard within the past month. That's a really good one for RP. And that's what we're going to go with. And don't forget the +1 intelligence. So we're going to go ahead and give ourselves the +1 for the intelligence now. So that makes the 13 to 14. And that makes it a +2. All right. That's a decent character, honestly. That's a decent character. All right, so let's do our numbers now for our saves here. And this is taken by these little numbers here in the bubbles. The 1s and the 2s and the 3s. Those are your bonuses. And I'll tell you a way here in a second, once I do this real quick, to figure out your bonuses. All right. So in D&D, a score of 10 or 11 is considered baseline average. Anything lower than a 10 gets a negative modifier, which means you add a negative dice to your roll or subtract. So if you roll an 18 for your athletics, but you have a -2, it becomes a 16. Simple, right? So knowing that 10 and 11 is average, and in D&D, unless specifically stated, every number that is halved or 3/4, any fraction whatsoever, is rounded down, unless it specifically says. So, a good way to figure out what your bonus is for your abilities is to take whatever your score is, divide it in half, and subtract 5. Okay, so 13 divided in half would be 6.5. Rounded would be 6. 6 minus 5 is 1. Okay, try it again with the 14. 14 in half is 7. 7 minus 5 is 2. The dexterity bonus, 2. Constitution, 17 and a half is 8.5. Rounded down because of the rule is 8. 8 minus 5 is 3. Constitution bonus is 3. That's a tip that you might not get from other people, but I've always found it to be true. I don't think there's a number because I went through all the numbers in my head, like trying to think of like a way to disprove my own logic, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. All right, so since we figured out the saving throws, and we figured out the ones that we're proficient in, because the character build told us what we were proficient in. Those add your proficiency bonus. Your proficiency bonus goes up once every, I think it's every 4 levels. It'll go up, and then you add your proficiency bonus to your skills that you're trained in, and your saving throws that you're proficient in. And it's just a static number. Where in past editions, it was different numbers according to the class that you played, like your fortitude, your reflex, and your will. And your fortitude is your constitution, your reflex is your dex, and your will is your wisdom. Now, all right, so let's go through and okay, strength is a 1. So let's go through and find all the ones that say STR and give them a 1. So your athletics is your strength, and that's it for strength. Dex is a +2. So there we go. That's acrobatics. Sleight of hand. That's stealing things or planting things on people too. You can plant stolen goods on people. That's an aspect people forget. And stealth. How good you can sneak. All right. So now we're on Constitution. I don't think there's any con saves. And later on, we'll actually talk about different types of merging of saves in a more advanced video. But you don't need to trouble yourself with that right now. Okay, so intelligence is a 2. So let's go through, find everything with intelligence. 2. History. Investigation. Nature. Religion. 2. Alright. Now let's go through and do wisdom. Insight. Medicine. Survival. Charisma is a 2. Deception. Intimidation. Persuasion. Performance. Alright. Now we look at our proficiency bonus of 2, and all the ones that have the dots that we put next to it you add a 2 onto it. So medicine goes from 2 to a 4. Nature goes from a 2 to a 4. Perception goes from, you guessed it, 2 to a 4. Religion goes from 2 to a 4. All right. So whenever the DM asks you for one of those skills, you tell the DM what it is your character wants to do, and then the DM tells you to go ahead and roll such and such skill. Like you're a rogue, and I want to walk on this rope like it's a high wire to get across from one building to the next to escape the building that's on fire, something like that. And your DM makes you roll, your acrobatics. And the harder the scenario that is given to you or that you're proposing, the higher the skill check is going to be. And so that's why, you get characters that are good at one thing and not so good at others, because there's so many categories to cover, and so naturally you won't be good at everything, but you'll be good at most things. You can be good at most things. Okay, what else? Oh, my passive perception. I really don't use passive perceptions, but it's like what, 12, I think. Yeah, 10 plus wisdom, so it's a 12. Yeah, so not really important for me, in my opinion. And we still have to pick an alignment. Alignment doesn't matter on your stats or anything, though, so we just did everything that kind of matters on your stats. Our initiative, your initiative is based on your dexterity. In older editions, the smaller your character was, the more bonuses you would get to your initiative or to your dex or to your AC or a combination of all those things because you're smaller. So shorter, smaller, you act faster, or you are harder to hit. And keep in mind, if you're tracking weight in your game, which some DMs like to track weight, and some players just like to track it for add a little bit of extra realism to it. Characters who are smaller, their items weigh half of the weight of a character that's larger than them. So all the weights for the gears and stuff, unless specified, are for medium characters. Small characters would have half the weight. But larger characters would have double. A large would have a double the medium, and huge would be double the large, and so on and so on. You know. Weapon. Let's see here. I gotta ask the DM about which weapons, because I don't know the starting gear and stuff. So we don't really need to fill that out right now. But the information that's right here is enough to start playing. It's enough right there. Once you get this done, and really you'll be able to make this in about 5 minutes or so. It gets real easy, and there's programs and stuff that are online that help you do this too, if you wish. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. That's really all I need to cover for right now. Once this gets you up and running, the rest of the stuff the DM kind of will fill you in on, like I said before, your starting gear, your coins, and any type of, if you have any magical items, and those things might change some of your numbers around a bit, depending on what you get. So those are explained. Let's see what else. Oh, inspiration. If you play into your character, like those ideals, the bonds, the flaws of your character, the DM it's not necessary, but he can award you an inspiration token. And an inspiration token simply acts like a lucky point. You get to re-roll something that before the results are declared. If you're say you're trying to pick a lock, there's guards at the end of the hallway. You're trying to pick a lock before they turn around and catch you. You rolled a 4. You're not gonna pick that lock in time. The guards are gonna catch you. You use your inspiration point. You re-roll that 4, and it's a 17. Now, boom, you're in the room. You close the door. The guards didn't catch you, and you're safe. So that's just some of the things that can do. In my own campaign, I change it up a bit, but we're not covering that right now. So yeah, this is it for now. This is it. This is enough to keep to play, and if you want to assume the basic armor, you can, just to give yourself an armor class. Remember that your dex bonus adds into your armor class. So let's say you're wearing like a medium skin armor or something. It's a 13, but you add your dex, and so it becomes a 15. So tentatively, we'll say our armor is a 15. And once we find out what actual armor we have and things like that, I'll fill out that portion. You would have your armor picked out for you by your DM already, or your starting equipment that you would take it out of your expenses of the coins that your DM gave you to start out with, to either buy equipment or just use the starting gear and have no coins, or some type of variation of that. All right, so this has been over an hour already. I'm gonna go edit this, and I'm gonna try to have it out before I go to work probably. So I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. You've been swell, and this is how to make a character.